Hey guys, it's Brian, and today I want to give you guys my review for The Walking Dead World Beyond, Season 1, Episode 6, Madman on the Water. So, this episode was not bad. I actually really liked it, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So, the episode starts out with, Elton's mom talking, and we see this Dare Query Town sign, and, the characters are walking, and as they're walking, we have Elton's mom, talking in the background, reading her transcript, and we have Elton looking back at Felix. So yeah, and anyway, so Elton, this is a big Elton episode, and we have Huck and Felix. They are setting up like traps around the woods, like this wire trap, and Elton is writing in his mom's transcript. He's kind of continuing, and Iris mentions that they're going to need a boat to cross the bridge because the military blew all the bridges, when the apocalypse happened, and Felix and Elton are talking, and Elton is saying, telling Felix that he didn't say he agreed to it, but Felix is saying that he didn't disagree to the plan of convincing the others to come back to the colony. So yeah. Anyways, it's daytime and the characters are walking around. We get a pretty cool walker, I'll admit, and we get the intro sequence, and we also see that other sign, Dare Query Town again, and it's 10 miles now, so the characters went like 140 miles. Like, that's crazy. Like in a couple days. I don't know what the time frame is. So anyways, the characters get to the bridge, and obviously it's blown up, and like pretty much all the boats are out of the water or badly damaged, and Hope is not sure what they're going to do, and Huck and Felix are talking to each other about the plan. Maybe one should take the boys back and someone go with the girls, but they also talk how Elton is technically on their side. They just need to convince the others to come back to the colony. And Iris is talking that maybe they can sort of build a boat or like a kind of raft to cross the Mississippi River. And yeah, so they decide, to take this weird rafting and start fixing it up. And the characters, they go into this factory in order to get supplies to fix the boat. And it's crazy. There were like no walkers. So also Hope and Iris find like bottles of nail polish. And apparently they are flammable. Who knew that nail polish was flammable? I didn't. So Elton finds a dead walker on the ground, and he gets... So this is a big Elton episode. We get a flashback of when he was younger to the day of the apocalypse, I guess. And he's at this like museum, and he's with his parents. Elton is with his parents when he was much younger, and like his dad is in charge of like cleaning fossils and all that stuff and preparing them for the museum. So Elton sees a painting of a meteor, and he asks his father what that's about, and his dad talks about how meteors are giant pieces of rock that, from space, and they come towards Earth and they burn up in the atmosphere. And we see, Elton's mom is pregnant the same day, when she died, and he talks about, the dad talks about how, meteors destroy the dinosaurs and all that stuff. This is a very scientific family. So yeah, after he, mentions how the dinosaurs were wiped out by the meteor, which I heavily disagree with. There is scientific proof that's not the case. Anyways, after that, Elton's mom starts to feel something in her belly. So, Elton is feeling his little sister, I guess. And he asks them if he can get something for his sister Esmeralda, which he kind of came up to name himself. And I'm sorry, I know he's 5. They actually established that, but my goodness, I mean, what kind of name is that? Like, I'm sorry, that's just a little weird to me. Anyways, the flashback ends, and the characters are looking around. They found a bunch of stuff, empty gallons, rope, all that stuff, and Hope talks about how there's even more, and Silas has tools. So yeah, Felix is not 100% on board with this plan, kind of doubting it a little bit. Even Elton is a little bit, but they decide to go with it anyway. And the characters are building the boat. They're using the barrels, empty barrels to make it afloat. They're even putting a generator and all that stuff, to kind of cause propellers. And like, are these kids MacGyvers or something? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, they're actually like building it. It's crazy. So Felix is talking to Huck one last time and says they got to act now. Otherwise, the kids will never leave. This is their last chance to get the kids to come with them back to, and Hope unfortunately hears them talking, and she gets mad at Elton because she heard that he was on their side, and she feels betrayed, and even Silas doesn't really believe it. But the characters are talking, and Felix gets in there too because he mentions how Hope and Iris's father might not even be in trouble anymore, and Elton talks about how he doesn't want anybody to die with this and it's getting dangerous. And Felix, they make good points. They don't know that campus is wiped out, and he talks about just wanting to protect them. And Iris breaks up the fight and says that they don't have time for this. And Huck and Hope talk to each other, and we get some backstory on Huck. So when the apocalypse happened, she broke her arm. She was like almost dead, drifting, I guess, in the water, and that's why she's called Huck. I don't know. This scene didn't really work for me. I'm not really sure. It didn't work. So anyway, Felix and Hope are talking to each other, and Hope brings up the fact that even though her father, took Felix in after he got kicked out of his house by his terrible father, he never really acted like a member of the family, like a brother to them, more like, a problem or something. And yeah, so anyways, the group is talking and they need like some kind of flammable liquid for the generator and stuff, some kind of like oil. And the group goes back, a storm's coming, and they go back for the nail polish. Meanwhile, Felix and Iris are walking to a barn. They're looking for anything that they could burn, just any rope, anything else that they can use. So yeah, and they're talking about how, they're kind of upset with each other. And you know what I mean? Like, Iris is talking about how she's just disappointed. And we find out, Felix mentions how it was supposed to be him that went with Leo, but instead it was Will, his boyfriend, and he feels guilt. So that's why he wants to believe they're okay. And yeah, so Elton and Silas are dumping all of the nail polish into buckets so that they can take them back. And, Elton talks about how, he just doesn't want to die. He just, believes that since death is inevitable, why, take risk, I suppose, in life. So we get a flashback again with Elton and his father, and this is crazy. So the apocalypse is happening. There's people screaming, there's gunfire, and his father tells him, he gives him the, fossil horn, and he tells him he needs him to be quiet in the box, and that, just to be safe, and he'll be back. But obviously that doesn't happen. So back in the present, we have, Iris talking about, so Iris and Felix are walking, and suddenly lightning comes down. Like, I am not joking. Like, this was weird. I don't know about you guys, but this was just weird. Like, I don't know if lightning works like that, but it, crashes down and destroys the barn, and we got walkers. Yes, we have finally, after like half an hour, we finally get walkers in the episode. It's just crazy. So Elton and Silas are running with the buckets, and they're worried about getting struck by lightning. They're trying to get back to the boat in time. And Elton drops his bucket of nail polish, unfortunately. And I really thought that, like, what if, like, lightning came down and, like, caused, like, nail polish to catch on fire? Like, that would have been crazy. But that doesn't happen, so I'm not really sure what the point of the spilling scene was. I don't know. Hope, unfortunately, cuts her hand on the boat, while trying to, finish it up. And, she gets a Band-Aid, and then, so they bring the nail polish back, and Iris is pouring it, but it catches on fire, unfortunately. And yeah, so it's not good. And Felix notices that the walkers are coming, so he takes Elton's, like, fishing hook, and this is cool. He actually ties the wire around these two big trees, and, does multiple loops with them. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, there's like a router or something that's not connected, and they need someone to, like, screw it in. And oh my goodness, like, they decide to use claustrophobic Elton. And, like, I don't know about you guys, but I've had this many times in my life. Like, I'll get to that in a minute. So anyways, Felix is, going around with the wire, and yeah, the trap has been set. So we get another flashback with Elton. He's still in the box, and Elton is trying to come over his claustrophobia. And yeah, what I said about, like, I have had so many instances in my life where, because I'm small and skinny, people have needed me to get through small corners or areas they couldn't. And it's just, it's so annoying, you know what I mean? Like, in life, that, like, because you're the smallest or skinniest, you have to be the one to do it. Like, yeah. So anyways, the walkers get tangled up into the wires. And yeah, I mean, my goodness, these walkers are hideous. I mean, great job, Greg Nicotero. They look great. So we have Elton, and he's panicking in the flashback, but also in the present. He's naming all the planets. I guess, I don't know, it's weird. So Felix is fighting the walkers, or at least he's about to, but Hope and Iris come in to give him a hand. So that was pretty cool. We definitely need more walker killing in this episode. So Elton is able to get out of, the boat, and the walkers are like right on top of them. They're coming. Felix and them are like, they're all pushing the boat, but they're having a really tough time. The boat just has way too much weight, and I can't believe it. Like, they actually put way too much on the boat, like for it to even like push it into the water. Like, that's crazy. I mean, like, they're all pushing it, but pretty much nothing's working. And Hope is even mentioning they might have to leave the boat and just run. But Felix comes in with a board to like properly level it and get it off the sand, and they all start pushing like crazy as a team. And yeah, so it starts moving, and the walkers are like right behind them, but man, are these walkers slow. So anyways, they actually get into the water and they start going in. Felix is helping the kids get on board, and everyone is happy. They're kind of like celebrating, and they're patting each other on the backs. We have the walkers chasing them and falling into the water. So that's kind of interesting. That's funny. And yeah, and we see them drifting off, and just that's it. The boat's gone. So this was kind of weird. So this is one issue I have with the episode. So like, we immediately just cut the whole boat thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gone completely. We got like no scenes after it. So I don't know. So Felix and Hope are talking. They're sorting food, and they're just talking to each other about how Hope mentions how she did want him to find them, but not just to bring her back, but also maybe to help them, and that she does appreciate that he's here. And so Felix talks with Huck, and she mentions that it might be she's going to go scouting for a few days and come back. So I don't know, that was weird. So meanwhile, at the campfire, everyone is just sort of chilling, but Elton sits by himself and starts crying. He is thinking about his family, his parents, like just everything that's happened. But he starts writing in the transcript that despite what happened in nature, so we get the flashback of how he got out of the box, and he mentions how despite what nature, you can't fight nature, you can always, in a way, act against it somewhat, because nature doesn't always decide. You don't know what it decides for you. So in the flashback, yeah, Elton sees his dead father. I mean, no legs, just, oh my goodness. This is just a brutal scene. This is hard to watch. I mean, I don't even know what happened. Like, how did it get like this? There were no other walkers. I am very confused how this happened, but my goodness, I mean, just traumatic. So Elton leaves the museum, and he finds a piece of paper on the ground with like the military evacuation plans for the campus colony. And this is weird. So like how did the military make these flyers in the apocalypse? How did they distribute them, like by a helicopter? Like I don't know, that was just weird to me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know the military was trying to get people to the campus. So that's pretty interesting. Like, I don't know. So anyways, in the present timeline, we have Elton talking to Hope, saying that, talking about his dad, but then he talks about how he believes his mother and Esmeralda might still be alive out there, just somewhere. And he shows Hope a picture of his mother. And yeah, we get we get Hope's reaction to finding out that, yeah, she's the one that killed Elton's mom. And I mean, it's going to be crazy when Elton finds out, but she is just like, oh boy, this is not good. So anyways, characters hear something in the woods, but it is not a walker, it is a person. So yeah, the episode ends, and yeah, this was a pretty good episode, 8 out of 10. So we get a preview of the next episode. So we have this guy with a wooden, sharp stick pointing at the group, and we have, the characters with their flashlights being nervous. So we have a new character, and Felix tells him to put the weapon down. And the guy talks about how, he got jumped, and, I guess his stuff was taken and just all that stuff. So he's by himself. And, Iris mentions how they can help him, but, Felix doesn't really think it's a good idea. And the guy says that they should just smash and grab. So like, attack. So there's like, might be some human threats this episode. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see. And we have Silas turning around, and a truck turns on, and we have Iris in the dumpster. It looks like a dumpster, and a walker in there with her. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what do I think about this episode? Madman in the Water. It was a pretty good episode. Definitely better than 4. I give it an 8 out of 10. We got some very good character development from Elton. Some pretty good action. And some pretty decent flashbacks, I'll admit. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for my review of The Walking Dead World Beyond, Season 1, Episode 6, Madman in the Water. Please let me know what you thought of the episode down below. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.